yo. One time for your mind. We ball all day. Just know we talk ball all day. Welcome to the full court press. Full court press. We got Danny Thompson on the mic, so just chill with the set. Ball all day. Just know we talk ball all day. Welcome to the full court press. Full court press. We got Danny Thompson on the mic, so just chill with the set.
Good evening. It's 9:06 p.m. Eastern Time on January 19th, 2016. This is Full Court Press Radio, sponsored by SOFOELLC on the new 96.9 The Game, Orlando Sports Leader. I'm your host, Danny Thompson, checking in with you tonight live. And we do this show every single week talking about the best and the brightest NBA topics from all across the country with some of the best writers, beat writers, and personalities across the country. But as usual, I can't do this alone. We always have the big three-man weave, the triangle, the big three, whatever you want to call it. But these are my two right-hand men. To the left of me in the studio tonight, he is the editor-in-chief of NBA FCP Radio and also one of the most opinionated Orlando Magic and NBA guys you're going to find around, my main man, Paul Myers. Paul, what's going on, sir?
Yo, in the building again, man. I don't miss my show.
Exactly. He's on point like Stephen Curry was last night. And calling in from the city of brotherly love, actually the winning city of brotherly love, because the Philadelphia 76ers have won more games since, the first of the year than they have won like the last 6 years. He is also the social media manager of NBA FCP Radio and Full Court Press Radio and our draft expert, my main man, Mark Johnson. Mark, how you going, sir?
I'm great. I'm watching the Sixers future now. Ben Simmons is on, and he's playing against Texas A&M, so I'm checking that out.
Kid's a baller.
Yes, he is a baller. But for those who want to check in with us tonight, because we have a lot of hot topics, the number is area code 407-916-8255 or toll-free nationwide 800-729-8255. Also, shout out to our super producer, Chris, in the studio. So when you call in, that's the first voice you're going to hear before you jump on the radio. So, guys, speaking of things being jumped on last night, the Cleveland Cavaliers, it was pretty bad last night.
It was really bad.
Really bad.
A game that everybody was hyped up to, Christmas Day, we all were hyped on Christmas Day. Cleveland still was trying to get used to Kyrie Irving being back in the lineup.
And also, he was on a heavy minute restriction then as well.
He's just getting back in the swing of things. Golden State was still streaking in. It was actually a very good game on Christmas Day. So we're thinking 4 weeks down the road is Martin Luther King Day in Cleveland. Cleveland's now pretty much full strength. Golden State's at the top of their game. And what we got last night was more like the JV team going against a college team last night.
Yeah.
The Cavs were blowing out pretty bad last night.
It was over. I'll give them halftime, but it was probably over before that. It was bad. This is my take on it, and I really don't. We'd be beating a dead horse. I would imagine if you guys have listened to any talk radio today, or you've been on social media, you've probably been beaten to death by this topic already. So we're not going to spend too long on it. But my take on it, and the thing that really bugs me, is the effort. I mean, you can't be a professional at anything. I mean, any job, let alone professional sports. You can't be a professional and not give effort. I mean, it was sad. There was no grit, no passion. They got beat like they stole something and didn't respond. Their pick and roll defense was atrocious. There was no, even Dellavedova is usually their energy guy. He didn't have a whole lot of energy. It was an all-around pathetic performance by what is probably or is the best team in the Eastern Conference and should walk to the finals. I don't know. They're going to have to do better if they expect to have a series come finals time.
Well, Mark, before I chime in on this one, Mark, at one point it's a 30-point game, and it seemed like the Warriors just did, anything they wanted to. If you're David Blatt, Mark, after a performance like this, now we're trying to keep this as clean as possible because, of course, if we're all head coaches and, with a performance like that, you're going to say a few things. But what can you possibly say to your team after literally losing by 34 points at home, not on the road, at home, to a team that just won the championship of your building? What do you possibly tell your team?
I really don't know what you tell them. I mean, it seemed like, when the game started, like after, Golden State went on their first run and they were up about 10, it seemed like the team was already dejected by then. Like, the game was almost, like, already over. Like, it's in the first quarter. Game's not even nowhere near the end. And David Blatt, he's supposed to be this offensive, imaginative coach. And I haven't seen that from him, period. Not at the NBA level. I haven't seen it from him at all. And I'm just like, is the GM and the coach not on the same page? Do they not have the right personnel? I mean, a lot of questions. I'm not even talking just this game. It's just the way they look, I don't know. Cleveland really has to do some soul searching if they really want to get where they want to get to by the end of the season.
I mean, let's call it what it is. Men have a certain body part that is exclusive to men. They didn't bring theirs.
I agree.
That's as nicely as I can put it on the radio. They left that specific body part at home.
Can we just call a spade? David Blatt sucks as a head coach. He's not even a head coach. He's a glorified babysitter, just like Mike Brown was, just like Eric Spoelstra was. I don't care what he did I don't care what he did in Europe. What has he done here? He hasn't done anything. LeBron James is the coach of that team, plain and simple.
Well, then LeBron should be fired for that effort last night because literally the Cavs literally played with no effort last night. And to make it so bad, only one player on Golden State played over 30 minutes last night because the game was over.
Barely.
And that was Draymond Green at 31 minutes. Now, this is the Golden State team that just lost to Detroit a couple nights ago. And it looked like Detroit had given the blueprint on how to beat Golden State. You let Stephen Curry score all the points, and you shut down everybody else. I'm not sure if David Blatt and the Cavaliers actually got that memo or even watched the game film because there's no way possible I'm allowing Golden State not to shoot just 43-pointers, but to hit 19 of them.
Well, and there's a huge problem for the Cavaliers. One, they don't match up well with the Warriors. So with everyone, if you don't know out there, the Cavaliers have 2 trade exceptions, which they can use to go out and get another player to help them. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's buying a championship. Well, let's be clear here. There's a couple ways to build a team. Through the draft, which obviously they don't get good they're not going to get good draft choices. Through trades, which that's what they're going to need to do, or free agency. Now, with these trade exceptions, they do need to go out and get somebody who can help them on Draymond Green because Kevin Love can't guard him. Timothy Mozgov can't guard him. Tristan Thompson can't guard him. The only guy that can probably guard him is LeBron James. And then you're losing what LeBron does. So the Cavs are going to need to make a move. If the Warriors are going to be the team to beat in the West, the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to need to make a move if they want to beat them.
Yeah, to Paul's point, actually, there's 3 trade exceptions now, Paul, because when they made the deal for Joe Harris to Orlando, that became the 3rd trade exception. So you have a $10.5 million exception for Brendan Haywood, almost $3 million for Mike Miller, and almost $900,000 for Joe Harris. You're going to have to go find, like you said, a defensive wing. This is what Sean Marion brought to the picture last year, a guy who can actually play defense. He only can give you 15, 20 minutes a night, but those 15, 20 minutes, whoever he's guarding is going to have to work because Sean can play defense. But, Mark, Paul just mentioned real quickly on they have to go get somebody. If you're the Cavs, you have all this money out there. What guy do you go after and get, especially that can help you on the defensive end?
Man, to me, I don't think the Cavs will do anything radical. Even if they got a guy who really could play, I don't think they would just shake up the lineup and start putting guys on the bench. I really don't know what they do. They seem to be in favor of bringing Markieff Morris in. Obviously, he'll bring toughness. He'll slap some people around, but I don't think that's enough. Even if you get a guy really was a great offensive player or whatever, I'm just like LeBron to me is a bit of a ball stopper sometimes. Sometimes the offense don't really move that well. He has the ball in his hands, and I don't know. It's tough. And David Blatt kind of is lost. I really don't know what they could do.
For
because
an 11,
I think personalities would have to change in order for them to really get to where they need to get to.
Yeah, we probably need to get off this topic, but for an 11-loss team, that's probably the worst I've ever seen an an 11-loss team look. It was really bad.
Am I the only one that thinks Tristan Thompson's the biggest waste of money?
Well, I mean, we kind of beat that to death when he got the contract initially, but I mean, yeah, Chris, and that's our super producer, Chris, by the way.
I think we when we talked about Thompson, right? I don't think anybody on the show thought he deserved the contract. And we really thought they should have let him walk.
I mean,
I think we all said this last year.
$80 million.
Let him go.
No, $80 million.
And then they brought him back for $85 million or whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
how's that working out?
I mean, for me, last night Tristan Thompson, 12 minutes, literally just 2 rebounds, 4 fouls, -15 on the plus-minus chart last night. But you mentioned the word ball stopper. I think LeBron's not really all the big ball stopper. I think Kyrie Irving's more the ball stopper than LeBron. And you watched the game last night, it seemed like Kyrie was playing 1-on-4 in a lot of cases. And with that being said, 1-on-4 is not good when you have a bunch of guys around him. So, we're not going to beat the dead horse to death. We all know how good Golden State is. We've explained this last week that especially in my opinion, I don't think Golden State wins the Western Conference. I think that Oklahoma City or the Spurs have the best shot at beating them. But we look at, who can somebody in the Eastern Conference match up well with. We talk about guys getting off the injured list. Look at Michael Kidd-Gilchrist of the Charlotte Hornets. He's been cleared to practice. And with him being cleared to practice is another guy that could, defensively, make some changes, against the Cavs because Charlotte is trying to push for the 8th spot in the East. It looks like they're 2.5 games out. If Kidd-Gilchrist gets cleared to play, he's going to be a guy who can defend LeBron. But that's another topic for another day. Speaking of things that are going on in the NBA over the last couple of days, Team USA. Jerry Colangelo, which is Mark's boy up in Philly, who now controls the Sixers, also controls Team USA. He announced the final 30 candidates for the Team USA this year, and Kobe Bryant, respectively, bowed out of the list. Guys, we're looking at, and I know Rio is not until sometime in August, but if you look at the list, which guys, as you see on the list, have the best shot at making maybe the 4 or 5 final spots? Because we know the first 6 or 7, as long as everybody's in, LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony. We know the major spots, but
is Carmelo Anthony a definite?
In the international game, you cannot go against Carmelo.
He's great in international play.
He's not on my list.
Loves him.
In the international game,
Carmelo Anthony in international play.
He's not on my list.
We're talking international ball here.
He's not on my list.
He's on mine because he's on Coach K's.
I respect that, but my list is not Coach K's, and y'all know how I am. I'm not going to shy away from my opinion. Mm-hmm. He's not on my list. Looking at this list,
we can go position by position.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's look at the point guards. So they had 6 on the list for point guards: Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving, who we just mentioned, John Wall, Mike Conley. It's a pretty talented list. Now here's the question: how many of these guys are you taking on the roster now? Though, are you taking 4? Are you taking 3? I know Curry's a lock. Westbrook's a lock. Is Chris Paul a lock?
I don't have him on my list this time, and you guys know I love Chris Paul. But for me, I don't have him on my list this time.
Mark, do you have Chris Paul on your list?
That's close. I mean, he's really getting pushed by John Wall to me. Wall has turned to a really complete point guard. If you notice him play this year, he's a high assist guy, and he's starting to be a low turnover guy. That's the kind of floor leader you want when you're playing, for Team USA.
Now, if Chris Paul is not on the list, who else do you guys have on the list? I mean, do you guys take Kyrie Irving? Do you take John Wall? Do you take Mike Conley? What other point guard would you take over Chris Paul?
I don't have Kyrie Irving in there. I know it's Coach K's guy, and he might pick him, but I just don't have him in there.
So, Paul, did Kyrie Irving an Olympic player? Is it John Wall?
I don't have either of them. It's funny. You guys talk about John Wall, talk about Kyrie Irving. Y'all might not believe I don't have either of them on my list. I only have 2 point guards.